Hi everyone, Scorpion Bytes here, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to learn about while loops in Java. First, we're going to see what while loops are, and then we're going to talk a little bit about infinite while loops. As usual, this video will contain both theoretical parts and practical examples. First, let's see what while loops are. A while loop is a control flow structure. While loops are used to execute a block of code multiple times. More precisely, the block of code gets executed as long as a certain condition is true. As a consequence, we need to take care that at some point the condition becomes false. Otherwise, if the condition will always be true, we will get into what is called an infinite loop. So, as the name suggests, infinite while loops are while loops in which the test condition holds true forever, and as a result, the execution never stops. You need to always be cautious with infinite loops because they can cause your program to hang or just crash if they are not handled properly. Good, so now let's see how a while loop works. As usual, we have the code before the while loop that will get executed as usual. Then we have the while loop itself. Between two parentheses, we'll have a condition. If this condition is false, the behavior will be similar to a if statement. So the code inside the while block will be skipped, and we will jump outside the while block and execute whatever code we have after the while loop. Now, in case the condition is not false but true, we'll execute the entire code inside the while block. And once we reach the end of the while loop, we'll go back to the beginning. We'll evaluate the condition again, and if it's true again, then we'll execute the entire code here for the second time. And then we'll go back to the beginning of the while. Again, we'll evaluate the condition. If this is true, again, we will execute the code inside the while block again, and we'll go to the beginning once more. Basically, we will keep doing this as long as the condition is true. By the way, each of these executions is called an iteration. So until now, we executed the code inside the while block 3 times. So we made 3 iterations. Now let's say that at the 4th iteration, the condition will become false. This essentially means that we will not execute the code inside here anymore, and we will jump outside the while block and execute whatever code we have after the while loop. So now, what is an infinite loop? An infinite loop is basically a loop that gets stuck right here. Basically, the code inside the while block gets executed forever. And as a consequence, the code after the while block will never get reached. An infinite loop basically happens when the condition is true forever. Awesome. Now that we have just finished this part, please consider giving a like to this video if you found the information useful. Also, if you're enjoying the content and want to see more, hit that subscribe button and share this video with your coding buddies. Alright, enough with the promotion, now let's move on to the next part. Good, so now let's see some examples. Let's say I want to print all the numbers from 0 to 5. So one way of doing this would be to print each number. Here I print the number 0. Let's copy this 5 more time in order to print all the numbers from 0 to 5. Let's run the program. And as you can see, we got all the numbers from 0 to 5. But let's say we would need to print all the numbers from 0 to 1 million. We cannot copy this line 1 million times. So a better way to do this would be to use a while statement. So first, let's get rid of all of this. And first, let's declare a variable called number. And let's assign the value 0 to it. Now let's add our while statement. So I will say while number is less than or equal to 5. I will first print the value of number. And then I will increase the value of number by 1. Now let's run the program again. So as you can see, we got the same result, but this time we did not print each number individually. Now let's have a look how this works. First, we create a variable number and we assign the value 0 to it. Then we reach our while statement. We check the condition. So number which is equal to 0 is less than or equal to 5. So we execute the code inside the while block. First we print the number, as you can see we have 0 here, and then we increase the value of number by 1. After this we go to the beginning of the while. So at this point the value of number will be 1. We check the condition again, 1 is less than or equal to 5, so we execute the code inside while again. We print the number, which is 1, and then we increase the value of number by 1, so this time the value of number will be 2. After we increase the value of number, we go back to the beginning of the while. We check the condition again, 2 is less than or equal to 5, so we print the number again, as you can see here, and then we increase the value of number by 1, so this time number will become 3. So we keep doing these steps until eventually we reach to the point where number is equal to 5. So in our case we did the third iteration and also the fourth iteration, and at this point let's say number is equal to 5. We are at the beginning of the while, so we check the condition. Number, which is 5, is less than or equal to 5, which is true, so we print the number. As you can see 5 is here, and then we increase the value of number by 1. So this time number will become 6. Then we go to the beginning of the while and we check for the condition again. So since number is 6, the condition number is less than or equal to 5 is false. So we will not execute the code inside while and we will jump outside the while block, so right here. Since we don't have any code after while, 5 is the last printed number. You can increase the value of number by any value. So for example, I can increase the value of number by 2. And in this case, I will only print even numbers from 0 to 5. So we first print 0, then we increase the value of number by 2, so we print 2, and then we increase the value of number again by 2 and we print 4. And then the next value would be 6, but since 6 is not less than or equal to 5, 4 is the last printed number. Now let's say we forgot to increase the value of number. I will delete this line and run the program again. So as you can see, the application keeps printing 0. And this is what is called an infinite loop. Basically, we execute this line here forever and never exit the while loop. So let me add another print statement after the while. And now let's run the program again. So as you can see, this message never gets printed because we are stuck here. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. And of course, if you have any questions or suggestions, drop a comment below. With that being said, keep learning and I'll see you next time.